Remember this? Do you remember my concern about this when I replaced it? It was that this receiver was going to leak. Look, it was not leaking. When I installed it, I was able to close everything, have it seal up, and clearly she has started leaking. Oil all over it, down the side. So either there's a hole in the in the condenser blasting that way, or that cat's leaking. Definitely got some sight glass flashing. I am burying this right now, though. And I don't see the leak. I'm gonna bring the sniffer up. I'm gonna put my gauges on it. I mean, again, I have completely buried this thing. I'm gonna give you a glass half full kind of thing. I'm in North Georgia, and bro, the pollen is ridiculous. Everything just turns yellow. But the great news is, you can really see if there's a leak anywhere, right? So I can be super confident that I don't have any leaking issues at any of these points because there's dried pollen all over everything. Dried pollen all over everything on both of my connection points. Again, this is definitely feeling like that is covered in oil. There's a problem with it. And my sight glass is flashing. But man, my pressures, other than my head pressure's high. I mean, what's my pressure? Head pressure's really high, but it's a little high from what it should be for the temperature of the day. Head pressure, I mean, my pressures are about good. So clearly, we got an issue with refrigerant because we're flashing. The unit's been off, it's not frozen up downstairs, and the frame rate is right. So I've learned that's a neat trick. You can change these. When it changes lenses, it changes frame rates. Alright, sorry, that's it. I'm easily entertained. Alright, I realized I haven't watched the video, but I think I said it was a little high. But I was meaning a little low, because 275 is generally about what I want to be at. About 20 and 275, and I had 16 and 250. My sight glass is now clear. I'm gonna leave it running. And we're definitely getting nice cold back now. I'm gonna kill it up here. The solenoid's gonna stay open downstairs, which means we're gonna stay pressured on both sides. And then I'm gonna run my sniffer, see if we can find the leak. So when I kill this, my pressures kind of equalize a little bit, and what I'll actually do is I'll use my gauges. I'm going to disconnect my bottle, and I'm going to use my gauges to bleed over pressure to the low side so that I can leak check. I want to leak check with the fan off because I don't want the wind blowing any more than I'm already fighting the physical wind. But rather than having 50 psi on the low side, let's level it out a little bit. There you go. See what we can see here. You saw what I saw. Scroll back to the beginning, please. Look at this receiver. Look at how wet it was comparatively to, look at the pollen everywhere. You can tell. There are no leaks. I have soaked everything away from the pollen. I have drenched with my soap bubbles. I have let loose with my sniffer. How in the world was it not leaking from up here somewhere? But it's not. I even went to the tip of this to think, okay, maybe it's not leaking from the edge. Maybe this is cracked. You can see I have soaked the whole thing. looking for, are these bubbles breaks in the system that they're moving through? Is it bubbling from the bottom underneath somewhere? Right? Has a weld broken loose? I was checking the faces of all of this. Right? This is not hard finding a leak. There's definitely a leak here. And I've soaped the whole thing. I have sniffed. I'm gonna go at it with the sniffer again, man. And this is definitely on the high side. So, you know, I'm gonna get the system fired up, put some pressure on it. Come on. All right, while I'm recalibrating the sniffer, I wanna show you something that I think is a warning that is gonna mislead you. These braided lines can absolutely leak. Let's take a look. Okay. When I started, I soaked all this up on a nice stream, so I don't want bubbles. I want a nice stream. And I'm not really getting any bubbles. Let's see. So here's my part in question, right here. Right here. When I start the fan, it's gonna take air and push it in this side of that braided hose, and it's gonna blow bubbles. So look at that bubble right there. Is that a refrigeration bubble? Or is that just air being pushed in? It's a refrigeration. The braided hose is done. There's your leak. You rascal. So this is a vibration reducer. Alright. Alright. Whoop whoop. Found it, baby. Now I was worried when I saw those bubbles when I fired it up that it was just from the wind. Gotcha. Alright, I can't fix that today. I mean, I could if I just cut that out, but I'm not gonna. Man. Have some resolve, you know? How easy would it have been to just be like, look, I don't see the leak. No, it must be in the evaporator, right? Close it up, gas it up. Hey, we're back in another month. You know, and then you're wearing out the customer, which maybe is what service companies want, right? Remember, I'm a weird service company because I was the restaurant that I was serving. So, freaking nice. All right. So it's just a 3/8 vibration reduction. I'm not going to be able to pump it down to preserve the refrigerant, unfortunately, since it's in between the compressor and the receiver. But at least we know we're walking into another time, another place. So before you walk away, spray your service cap. Look. You don't notice that rubber ring is janky like that. Janky, that's the word of the day. Then when you put this on and walk away, see ya, I'm out. Look. You just created a leak, man. And you're gonna get here next time, it's gonna be out of gas, you're gonna put your gauges on it, you're gonna look everywhere and not find the leak. You created it. I'm here with the bubbles. I put the caps on, I spray it and go, uh-oh, what's going on? Need a new cap. Just because I don't want to leave it that way, look. Now we're good. Now we're good. Go home and feel good about yourself.